It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
My dog's name was Mabel, and I nicknamed her Booty. So
Booty. Yo, Booty, get over here.
But that has a backstory I'm not going to get into.
That sounds like a juicy backstory, if you know what I'm saying.
A juicy booty backstory.
Juicy Booty. That's a rap name that I'd take on. Speaking of nicknames, some people call me Booty Czar. No one calls me.
That's true.
Some people call me Bulbasaur because that sounds like my last name.
Christmas Bulbasaur.
That's right, Christmas Bulbasaur. If I was a Pokemon, and why? We've talked about this. His Pokemon name. Wait for it. It would be Igalta, and he would say it like that. In the past episode, we brought this up. His Pokemon name would be Igalta, and he's an eagle with ice power.
I have ice and electric powers. Thank you very much.
Oh, man. Welcome to another episode of ICBTB podcast. We'll let Kate over here introduce the baddies to the show. So however you want to introduce this radio show, this podcast, whatever you may call it, do it as you may.
I'm really bad at this. This podcast is basically about reviewing movies that have had poor ratings, but I, as the guest, personally think it's a really good movie.
This is one of your top 5.
This is one of my top 5. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and there are millions of movies.
Princess Bride is in my top 5.
Solid choice.
Can we hear the top 5?
Yeah.
Since
okay,
it's
so
not a secret.
Princess Bride
is number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not questioning. I'm asking the order.
So Princess Bride has been consistent number 1. The rest kind of shift.
Okay.
So then it's like, man, this is going to sound so
It's like your
bad.
MySpace top 5.
Yeah.
The Bratz movie.
The Lizzie McGuire movie.
Sisterhood of Traveling Pants
2.
The Yaya Sisterhood.
So I love Princess Bride, The Birdcage,
Gotcha.
Kiki's Delivery Service, Practical Magic, and then Muppet's Treasure Island.
Wow.
Really? Not the Muppets movie?
No, Muppet's Treasure Island.
I mean, OG Muppets is, yeah.
That movie is fire.
Treasure Island Muppets is hilarious.
It is.
None
That's
of
the one
those...
where they're like, sorry, but my favorite line from that one is, what's the little rat's friend name? Fucking Scooter's friend. Anyways, he's like, if you gotta go through him, you gotta go through me. And they're all doing this like standing up for the kid. And then he's like, and if you want to get to him, you'll have to negotiate difficultly with me.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I love him in that movie because he's just like in the background being like, I don't want confrontation. I just want to make money.
Just be a pirate.
Oh.
Have you not seen Muppet Treasure Island?
No,
it's Rizzo the Rat. So the
Rizzo
whole
the
concept for Rizzo the Rat in
Rizzo
that movie
will come back later.
is like, so Rizzo basically like they're all getting on this pirate ship. It's based on Treasure Island, and Rizzo is basically like gets on the pirate ship with them, but instead of like actually being along the story, he's kind of a subplot, and his subplot is he's like selling cruise tickets to other rats.
Nice.
On the ship.
Wow, this guy knows how to make money.
You've seen like Muppet's Christmas Carol?
Back then.
He kind of plays the same character where he's like a semi-narrator, but also a player, but also like breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I like this guy already.
He's the Deadpool of the Muppet universe.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like Deadpool.
I did really like the Muppet movie, not the newest one, but the one that Jason Segel wrote.
Oh,
the one where it's
like, the second and newest one.
Where they have the song, Am I a Man or a Muppet? And honestly, I think about that song way more than I should.
I mean, that sounds symbolic.
It's weird because the Muppets movies randomly have fire tracks.
The Rainbow Connection
like
is the greatest song ever.
So great. It's like, that's why I love this one out of all the Muppets movies, because the track is so fire.
Can we talk about this movie?
We'll talk. All right, baddies, this is no longer about practical magic. This is about Muppets. Treasure Island.
We're not talking about witches. We're talking about pirates this Halloween.
What do you... Oh, this is... By the way, congratulations. You are the guest for our Halloween special.
This is our Halloween episode.
This is going to drop right before Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
I was going to say, what if we dropped it twice, huh?
We'll drop the same exact episode?
No difference, but just also on the 31st.
All right.
And we'll title
make
it
one
the
black and
Halloween
white. Make one black and white.
Ooh, but only on the audio.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one can see it.
This is the black and white version audio.
That doesn't make any sense. Like,
it's meta.
Wow, did you hear that? second
If
podcast.
you can hear it, you can hear it.
You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people heard their Halloween special on Thursday, but if you listen to the one on Saturday, it's actually black and white.
We have, and take it how you want to take it. But we're going to be dropping some special Easter eggs.
And at the end of the episode, we'll play the Michael Jackson's Black or White.
Yeah, that's the only difference. At the end of the episode, it's Michael Jackson's Black or White.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
so Kate, you brought to us a movie called
Practical Magic.
Practical Magic. We were supposed to say it at the same time, but I fucked up on timing, and I'm the one that prompted
And
it.
I pronounced it weird because I got nervous.
But it's
It's
okay. We're only over 100 episodes in, and
Humble brag.
people say it takes 400 episodes to get really good.
Really? Is that what they say?
That's
No.
a lie.
I'm pretty sure Malcolm Gladwell said 10,000
Sure,
hours.
I think it's, yeah.
I think it's 10,000 hours.
So that's 10,000 episodes. We're not even close.
Like,
no, but think about all the hours of work we put in not on air.
You're right, man.
Billable hours. Billable hours,
that's
friend.
true.
Kate.
I got to the bottom. This is why I'm like not kind of talking right now. I got to the bottom of my chapstick, my favorite chapstick.
Oh no,
for
that
the
never
first time
happened.
ever.
that
It's like
literally
it's like finishing
never
a big
happened.
pen. Wow.
Yes.
So like,
What's at the end? What's at the bottom?
Yeah.
like
Is there a
you
prize?
have to
Is
like
there a treasure chest?
No, you have
is
to
there a
like
Muppet?
scrape the bottom for your favorite chapstick and wait for like the point where you can no longer get it on your lips, and then you're just tormented by.
You're just ripping your lips with the plastic now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Buy a new
that's why I'm
chapstick.
I have
No,
one
I
last
can't.
tangent we should go on about chapstick. Do you guys ever roll out the chapstick as far as it goes and just think, I could bite this?
All the time, dude.
Yes,
I'm
okay,
connecting
thank
with you.
God.
I've never
Thank
been
God.
more like I rate my conversations like how much are in the pocket are we, right? Right now, I've never
deepest
been in a
pocket?
deeper pocket with
You
anyone.
just like roll it out like just about an inch more and you're like, I could bite
Do you
this
want
right
to
now.
see
Yeah.
the chapstick?
Let's see it.
Yeah, I can't roll it up anymore.
Bonkers.
Isn't that, I was shook. I was in a Zoom meeting and I was like, and I was like proud and also very sad at the same time.
Do you throw that away or do you save it?
You should save it.
I'm like saving it as long as I can use it. But
You should
then
put, like,
I'll
Jam
throw
your
it
pinky
away.
in there and
Yeah.
Or I'll scrape it out and put it in a tiny jar and then like use it.
In a tiny jar. You're such an odd lady.
or you could go to Sandy Bullock's shop and
her
buy
shop.
her shampoo shit.
Yeah, she for
Ain't
sure
that
has.
the truth. She has so many little like bottles.
She'd
I
probably
was
have a
so
witchy chapstick.
So confused at what she was selling at first. I thought she was selling wine, and then I thought one of them was drinking it, and then somebody. It wasn't until the detective says this is the most expensive shampoo I've ever bought, where I was like, oh fuck,
Oh, that's what this shop is.
doesn't make sense at all. Why is she making?
Yeah, I really think that it's like this is like a finer details movie where you kind of got to watch it twice. Where you're like, oh, she says that
Well, I own it
earlier,
now.
never got it.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I own this movie now.
Good for you.
Yeah, you keep
I keep
buying
them.
movies, dude.
This one was a legit.
Rent.
This one was a legit accident because I hit the wrong button. Brightburn wasn't an option to rent, so I had to buy it.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. This is a comfort movie. So.
Honestly, you've turned me on to a couple of movies: Birdcage, this one, and that's about it. But I like.
just wait though.
Literal-
There'll
a
be
literal
more.
couple of movies.
Yeah, Birdcage, Practical Magic, ...
Out of the frying pan. That's what I say.
Until next time.
Meanwhile, I enjoyed this movie. I have a bunch of questions though.
Yeah.
We have questions.
I've watched this so many times, guys.
Good.
Perfect.
I watched it last week. I was going to watch it last night again just to refresh. Well, I don't need to.
But I was gonna say,
like,
can you like close your eyes and like play it in your head?
kind of.
Because I can do that with Goodfellas. I can just like close my eyes and just like, all right,
I can do that with Nacho Libre. So,
Such a good movie. Such a good movie.
we should get nachos.
yes. After this,
Why not?
why not?
Nachos?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, maybe.
I don't know where we can get nachos at this time in Benicia.
Yeah.
I'm down for whatever.
It's pretty. Everything's pretty
Wait,
much
back to
closed
the
down.
movie.
But back to the movie.
We have nitty gritties and shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, the nitty gritty. Practical Magic is
Yeah.
rated PG-13 and was released in the year 1998. It has a runtime of 1 hour, 44 minutes, or
104 minutes.
congratulations, Christian. It has a rating of 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 46% on Metacritic. Christian, you've now just liked this movie on Google, but can you tell me how many other Google users like this film?
I'll tell you right now, it's about to be 87%.
Do you know, or would you like to guess?
Nope. Don't know anything.
Then
Guess what percentage of Google users like this film?
I'm going to say like 55%.
Wow.
Wow, that low.
Do you say that because
I'm saying that because of the reviews that are already out there.
Yeah.
It might be high because in recent years there have been a cult following for this movie. So probably around I'm gonna re-guess.
Okay.
86%.
So he said 87, you said 86.
Yeah.
Price is Right rules. Christian wins 90%.
Hey, this is your favorite movie, and I beat you.
90%, and
Good job, Christian.
That's very high for Google.
Wow, you're very supportive. I was ready to be competitive with you.
It's because you gave me whiskey.
And it's because
that's what it is.
I've been rubbing off on you. The competition.
Yeah, like the more and more I hang out with Alejandro, I'm just flipping people off.
I hate you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
fuck
Mom.
you. Fuck you, Mom.
I said granola bars.
Yeah, next
These
time you
are
go to...
Nutrigrain.
Yeah, how come you don't bring me to Costco?
Man, Nutrigrain, not even good.
So I remember as a kid.
Solid.
Never mind.
Whatever.
I like the Nutrigrain bars because they had Power Ranger colors, and me and my brother would eat them and be like, "Ooh, this one's a Blue Ranger. This one's a Red Ranger. This one's a Green Ranger," and those are the only 3 colors.
Do you remember when you were like, "Yeah, this tastes blue"?
Yes, I think people's favorite flavors are based on their favorite colors, right?
Yeah.
So your favorite Kool-Aid is probably your favorite color.
That's not accurate. Whoa, wait.
Because
That's true.
right?
Oh my god. My favorite color. I have so many favorite colors.
But you're right. It is not true because my favorite Kool-Aid is cherry, and my favorite color is green.
Yeah. My favorite color is arguably cyan, teal, or light blue.
We're men. We don't know what that means.
Dark blue.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Now
That's my
understand.
favorite.
Now understand me.
I know, understand
Dark
interior
blue?
You don't
design.
need to be a guy
Like
to know.
blue
You
with
need
our
to
eyes
be an
closed?
art major.
No, but that it's actually proven scientifically that men see less colors than women are able.
Wow.
Women are able to identify
Did you
different
know
shades and colors that men can't.
That women have a bigger bladder than men.
Oh yeah,
and
I've heard it.
Actually, with how often girls have to pee,
That's crazy, right?
I don't get that.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause girls-
That's why I said that.
Yeah, girls every 5 minutes. I gotta go.
It's because they're better at filtering out, bro.
Listen, my best friend Jordan says it's like you break the circle.
You
It's
break the seal.
Yeah, you break the seal. That's it. And he's like, don't break the seal. Especially
When you're
whenever we
drinking?
drink.
Yeah.
He's like, don't break the seal.
Is this guy like
And
a
then,
perpetual college kid?
No, it's just Jordan.
That's
Jordan's
college
just
logic.
Jordan's just like, no, don't do that. And if Allie or I go to the bathroom, he's like, are you ready to break the seal though? Do you want to keep going to the bathroom? And then we'll think about it.
It's like, well, yes, this is a bar that has a flushable, usable
But
bathroom.
we're in
Why
Allie's
not?
room. So it's like, but Allie's bathroom is haunted, like I said. So that's why he
That's
brings
why.
it up.
That's what it is. So that's the reason. Because normally that used to be a thing in college and high school because you want to get as much as you can in
Right.
before you fuck it all up, before you start losing your buzz. But now as adults, for me, it's always like, why the fuck wouldn't I just go pee 6 times? It's a fucking house.
I don't care.
This is-
Exactly.
you know
but
what I mean?
Allie's house is haunted.
That's a caveat that I have not expected.
In this movie, they get fucking hammered. By the way,
And we never see them pee.
Oh,
and we
man.
never. That's
Yeah.
fucking
Maybe they don't pee.
witchcraft, baby.
It's
Baby.
witchcraft. Synapses coming at you.
Right at you.
Sally and Jillian Owens, born into a magical family, have mostly avoided witchcraft. But when Jillian's vicious boyfriend, Jimmy Angeloff, dies unexpectedly, the Owen sisters give themselves a crash course in hard magic. With policeman Gary Hallett growing suspicious, the girls struggle to resurrect Angelov and unwittingly inject his corpse with an evil spirit that threatens to end their family line. One thing I want to say right off the top is just that, anytime you're learning magic, you can't take a crash course in magic. The whole thing about magic is you got to take your time and learn and start small and get to bring people back. I didn't even realize Nicole Kidman had powers until she went to the PTA meeting. She never showed her powers up until then.
Well, that's the point. And that's the point of the movie. It's Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, Jillian and Sally are basically from this line of witches who all practice witchcraft. They do not. And the reason in the movie is because they're mother committed suicide, which is alluded to, and I watched it 10 times before I got
There's
that
a
point.
lot of vagueness.
Yes.
In this
And why did they
movie.
call the first witch that we see who hangs herself? We're jumping right into it.
Yo, do it.
They call her Auntie Maria, but wouldn't that be like Grandma Maria?
So here's I feel
Because they live so long, maybe.
so this is based on a book, first off, and the book is very different, and the book goes into way more details,
that's
but
that
it's
answers our
completely
questions.
different. The
Yeah.
plot line is completely different. But I would argue read the book second, watch the movie first, because if you
Interesting.
watch the movie second, you'll be really mad
Disappointed,
at it.
for
You'll
sure.
be disappointed, and you'll want to see the book. The book needs a series. It does not need a movie.
They've tried a couple of times. I was reading while doing a little bit of research to make a TV series out of this.
Oh, it would be so good.
There was at least 3 pilots that were filmed, but never taken to air. And currently, the most recent rumor I've read is that they're working on a prequel series for HBO Max.
Well, like, here's the thing with the book is that it's basically like about every woman.
Line.
Yeah, the witch's line. It goes through like in a series how it'll go through like different characters' arcs. That's how the book goes through. Like, it'll go through Maria. Like, it gets way more in detail about Maria's life. It gets way more in detail about Sally's life. Sally actually doesn't stay in Manhattan. She moves to New York with her kids, and they're actually teenagers in the book.
She moves to New York.
Oh, Sally.
Yeah.
They should have a crossover with Sex in the City.
Witch in the City.
But she's in the suburb. She's in the suburbs.
Like Brooklyn?
Yeah, like, I
okay.
don't know. They don't specify, but basically, like, she's in a suburban part of New York, like New York, the state.
Yeah.
And
Albany, probably.
She basically just got away from her aunts because she was like, I don't want to be a witch. Both the whole arc in both the movie and the book is all about like these 2 women who are scared of witchcraft because their parents died in a horrible like accident or suicide/accident, and that there's like a supposed curse on all the women, and that basically they all have powers. And I think the real emphasis is that like it's about female empowerment. It's about women having power and taking like responsibility for their actions. It's about like being a human being. It's about basically like owning up to who you really are. And that's really big in both the book and the movie. And that's a hard thing to do as a human. And that's a hard thing to do as a woman. So I think that in both the movie and the book, which is why I think you should watch the movie, then read the book, because both of them have really good arcs for female characters.
Especially in the 90s, right? This is over 2 decades ago.
This is like in the 90s.
Yeah.
98.
There are, objectively speaking, there are so many different genres just smashed into this movie, though.
So
like in the
many.
beginning, I felt like the music, if it was swapped with scarier music,
The music was
Would've been
so
horror.
out of place for so many things. Like, I felt like the music reminded me a lot of like The Parent Trap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then they'd be like, they play that Parent Trappy music during like the detective interviewing people, and they're like, yeah, they murder cows and shit. And like, they're saying this kind of fucked up shit about
Yeah.
the witches. But then the music is like really kind of like cute and kind of like nice. And it just, that was one disconnect for me where I was like, I don't understand the music.
I like really love the music. So
It's good music,
Yeah,
but
no, get
it's
into
of the
it.
time.
Get into your thing. Like, and I'll explain why I like the music.
I was catching myself laughing out loud
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock would be like out on the patio and it would just be her silhouette
Yeah.
and it'd be playing like this kiss, this kiss.
So
Yes.
that whole scene with this kiss, because of that whole running to each other and kissing was the only way I ever will think of that song from
that
now
was-
on. That's the most perfect way to describe that song is that scene.
She just like felt an urge at home. She was like, I'm in love with that
Here's
guy.
why.
It's a
So the
spell.
aunts put a spell on her.
Put a spell on me.
Basically, because she was like, I want a normal life. I don't want to be a witch. And they're like, but like,
You have to fall in love with someone.
Well, you have like, regardless of what happens to you, you're going to fall in love with someone, whether they like die, whether something happens in your relationship and you break up, no matter what, like life happens to you. It doesn't matter if you're a witch. It doesn't matter if you're a human. And so like Sandra Bullock basically is like, I just want a normal life. I just want to fall in love. I just want kids. That's all I want. And her aunt, I believe Jet, is like that's not practical though. You have so much, like you have so many gifts, you have so many powers. Just settling for less and not settling for like all of it is kind of like selling yourself short.
Yeah.
But they love her. So in the movie, they're like, they cast a spell on her to basically like, and this is revealed later in the movie, where they basically like get her to fall in love with this guy who she
Yeah.
finds attractive, obviously.
Yeah.
So then she like is married to him, has 2 kids with him.
Kids that look exactly like her and her sister.
Well, that's
Really?
the cool thing about the movie is they have that. And in the book, every woman looks like Maria. All of the women kind of have either the eyes or the hair of Maria, who had dark brown hair
Which one's
and
Maria?
silver eyes.
Maria
She
was
was
the
the
OG
original
witch.
Oh, OG witch
that
that.
they tried to
Yeah.
hang, which is not how you kill witches.
Yeah,
That's,
no.
I mean,
Well, it's like that's the crazy thing is it's like it's kind of commentary on just how much like back then when there was the witch trials, it was just basically like, I hate a woman, she's stealing my man, I'm gonna have her burned. or I'm gonna have her stoned.
The
or
witch
I'm gonna have her
Salem
hanged.
witch trials was the earliest form of cancel culture.
Oh, well,
Just like, ooh, this
Yeah.
girl's kind
Kind
of fucking weird.
Kind of, except they
You're
also
canceled.
They also like held like courts and trials
Yeah,
and made
well, like,
laws and shit. And then they're
I would
like,
disagree because it's like cancel culture is like a large population honing in on people who are in the spotlight already, who like are just blasted
Wild.
because
Okay,
they're
yeah.
Whereas I feel like the witch trials were more so like the whole witch trials in Salem were started by this girl named Abby who was 13, and she had a crush on John Proctor, and this is like the Crucible the play that's based on real life, and she had a crush on this guy John Proctor who was married and also cheating on his wife. I don't remember if he was cheating on his wife with Abby, maybe, but with also other people or other women. So basically, Abby got jealous and said that the woman who he was having an affair with was a witch and that his wife was a witch. And she started the whole Salem witch trials. And she got a bunch of girls together who all were like teens, like 12 or 10 or 13 or 14, to basically say, we hate this person. She's a witch. Let's put her in jail, put her on trial. And if she like is shoved in water and doesn't float, she's a witch.
they tied him to a barrel.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, I mean, you can read how they tested witches
Yeah.
too. It's
Yeah.
there's
It's
the,
in
It's a
the
whole
text.
history.
yeah,
It's a whole history.
Malefice Maleficatum was the name of the book, but
Wow.
I like the name of it in German. Das Hexenhammer.
So much aggressive.
But yeah, in that book, and they explain like the barrel test. They explain why you
Yeah.
burn witches with wood
It's
and not coal. They
fucking
explain why,
wild.
like, how
Yeah.
how you test them, the questions you ask a witch to get them to fall for it. But
Right.
really, at the end of the day, it's like any cool girl is definitely a witch.
Yeah, anybody who's chill
Anyone
or
who's cool
gay
as fuck.
is like,
Yeah,
fucked.
come on. You're supposed to be a follower of Christ.
I know you just finished blowing me, but you're definitely a witch.
Yeah.
Burn her at the stake. What do you guys think about like society now with like Halloween really making witches, like witchcraft, making it so lighthearted now
Right.
as opposed to the seriousness that it held way back then?
The lightheartedness and the jokiness of it, I think, has been around always as a way for people
yeah.
to. But magic itself, I mean, when you go deep into left hand magic, or you know, when you start looking into it and seeing the people who study it, like you get lost when you start finding out the kind of people and the things that they think. You know, witchcraft, whether it's real or not, is you know its own thing. But there's plenty of books and people who will practice and do it and teach you about it, and
Yeah.
and plenty of rituals that you can do. And if you put enough brain power into something, I think you can make almost anything happen.
Well,
Yeah.
like, here's the thing, is that Halloween is based on a pagan Irish holiday. I think it's called Samhain or Samhain. I don't know how to pronounce it. But basically, they celebrate that in Ireland. And it was an original pagan holiday. And they still continue it. And we celebrate it and change it into something else. So what's funny about Halloween is it is a pagan holiday. It is a, like, kind of witchy holiday. And goes off of the whole, like, burning witches in Ireland thing and that kind of stuff. So I just find these movies like really interesting.
Yeah.
And like the commentary on like why the witch trials started in both Europe and America, and how it's just kind of based on like, wow, you're a powerful woman who like practices medicine. Like, for example, the witch trials started in Europe because a lot of women were pagans, healers. They were the original medicinal doctors who basically like would cultivate like crops or something and would take like herbs and like help people heal. And so then like as priests came in, as Christianity came in, Christians were like, hey, that's not cool. You all are witches, and they basically just wanted to wipe out paganism, start afresh, and create Christianity in Ireland.
It's so ironic that
Good thing they failed over there in Ireland with getting them Catholics.
Christianity, and it always comes back to religion with us.
Yeah.
Christianity is known as this like tool for love and
Yeah.
like, you know, wholesomeness and like
But not for women in charge, bro.
fucking
Nuh-uh.
wild. Man, thanks for the context. That's a lot of information about like
Well, like I learned
The
this
history of
shit
witches.
because like my mom and me and everyone, all the women in my family are like, I'm just gonna come out. I'm like empathic, and like we all kind of practice that shit. Like my mom taught me tarot cards. I don't like identify as a witch or identify as pagan really. Like my mom's Catholic. Like, and she goes to church still, but like she practices tarot cards. We celebrate Halloween, we celebrate Christmas, but it's still like we have this weird relationship with the dead and kind of respect for the afterlife and the process of dying and the process of birth and how they're kind of the same. And like it's just I feel like I've talked to so many people about this who are like literally in Ashland, Oregon, where I was going to college. I like met
Oregon.
I met someone who like at a party randomly who also was like empathic, and we were just bonding and telling each other stories and like ghost stories and that kind of stuff. And we were just like, what the hell? But you'll randomly find people like that.
Yeah, you're not
like,
the only one. Well, I mean, with so many people in this state, in this country, and on the planet, you're bound to run into someone that's very much
so
like
it's like,
you.
And I kind
Way
of
to
see
belittle her
it.
story.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean,
like,
sorry. What are the chances?
But I like kind of see it as like a religion in the sense of like not everyone believes this and I do, and that's fine. But like I have experienced stuff that I just can't deny to myself. And I'm a very practical person. I don't really believe in like I just know. Like for me as a person, my mom believes in that. My sister believes in that. And that's fucking fair. But like for me, I'm like, I need. And then there was this one, I've had many experiences that I can't deny, but there was this one experience that I was like, I can't lie to myself anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, after that, I was like, I can't. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't
Yeah,
really.
we're here.
That's the whole thing about a podcast.
So
No.
No, we don't want to hear that story.
Alejandro, how are you?
Good. The budget for this film was.
I'm sorry.
I loved it. Well, I just don't want to like.
even got into the budget. I'm sorry.
No, I just
like
knew that.
25 minutes into
Listen.
I didn't think you would
Funniest
get that big of a laugh.
I'm sorry, just because it took me back. Like, that's right. This is about a movie.
Here's
But, I mean,
the thing.
It's all still relatable. I mean,
Here's
this.
the thing: is that with me in a podcast, this is gonna be like 3 hours long, bitch.
The last one was.
Oh man.
Like,
What, let's shelve it for a second. We
Yeah.
we do want to come back to that.
no. That's fair. That's why I asked.
I'm
Let's come
sorry.
back-
I just
let's-
laughed.
Get into the fucking movie.
So hard. Oh my god.
You
That
did.
was great,
That was-
dude. That was great. The
budget.
listeners are just like, not that funny, Christian.
They
But
think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
The budget was $75 million, in case anybody cares.
75 million?
They built that house.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Did you know
I
that?
didn't know that.
So the house, they had searched all over America for that house, and they couldn't find one that worked for what they did.
Yeah.
This is after they built half of the. So most of the shots that were inside were sets. And so they started building these set pieces, and then they went to go find this house. They couldn't find the house. They built the house in Maine. They brought the set pieces over there, put the set pieces into the house. So that house is actually empty on the inside. And then they tore it down at the end of the filming. Which is
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
They
Uh,
didn't just
Sad?
like give it to something?
Barbara Streisand wanted to buy it, but it's not a real house. So
Oh, that makes sense. So like the property.
it's
And it doesn't pass
doesn't actually
regulations,
have
I'm sure.
insulation. It's not a real home. It made about $68.3 million in its box office recoup.
So it lost a little bit.
It
Yeah.
didn't make it, but that's why this movie had its like resurgence later on as its cult classic, because it wasn't as popular when it initially came out. Because I don't know if people knew how to frame it. I texted you this at one point. Is this movie for kids or is it for adults? It's like
Then I said teens.
a hair too serious at one point for kids, but then a little too corny. I also think that this is one of the last movies that's able to do camp.
Yeah.
Right after 9/11, camp went out the window very fast.
Everything was serious.
No more like jokes for funny sake
Yeah.
or silly for fantasy sake. So that was a tough part for me to kind of get over at first. Remembering that there was a time and era where like every movie had camp,
Right.
even movies that have serious notes like domestic abuse and
But there was
death.
always that one moment when they'd be like, huh, "Oh my god."
The Full House breaking the tension
Yeah.
move. Yeah, I that's why I like this movie. Actually,
We were just speaking on that, yeah.
yeah.
But there are some moments,
Oh,
some
yeah.
like dollops of like good acting, like from Sandra Bullock and Nicole
Yeah.
Kidman.
Oh my god.
Kidman's bringing it all.
She brought she's able to just flip it from being this
When-
real sister
Yeah.
into someone that's just trying to manipulate her way into the sheriff or the detective's pants, right?
Right. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
when Sandra Bullock's first husband dies and she like goes to beg the aunts like please bring him back from the dead. Oh, that's sad. That moment is so fucking sad.
It is,
Yeah.
but what I didn't like about it was when she was like, I don't care how he comes back. I just want him back. It's like, you don't care? Because, like, these are witches. He could come back as, like, a squirrel or come back as, like, a rat.
Yeah, and that's what they tell her. And that's,
Yeah.
like, the point is, like, she's in such despair over the fact that he died because
She didn't care.
She
Seemed a
didn't
little
care. She
short-sighted to
just
me.
was, like, she was just in a fucking mindset of, like,
Yeah.
he needs to be back. This is my fault. I need
sure.
him back. I love him.
But, yeah, that makes sense.
That's the point is, like, the aunts are like you, where it's like, they're like,
He's gonna
not
be a
practical.
fucking zombie.
Dude, that's what that's
that's not practical.
But,
And
like,
that's what they
not
tell her.
practical.
When
Magic.
we are when we are at an emotional peak, though, our logic is shrouded, which is
oh
why
my
I'm just
God,
like,
yeah.
dude, if like anyone that I loved dearly were to just pass away, like abruptly. Bring them back for 5 seconds.
Yes.
I don't care if they're like half brain dead for a second. I want to say my last words or have
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
last
That's the
moment
worst
with you.
part about death, in my opinion. Is
Ain't
like,
nobody's ready.
You just aren't ready. Even
Yeah.
if it's like somebody like my grandma, she was 96. It was obvious that she was going to die any year. She kept joking about it. She'd call my Uncle Guile up on the phone and be like, "Where are you? It's my 95th birthday. I could die in 3 months."
Holy
It
fuck!
was so iconic.
What a boss!
She just was like,
Yeah.
you know, but it's like, that's the truth though. And it's like, she said that constantly as a joke, as like, no, I'm serious. But it was like, she died and I was shocked because
Yeah.
she was like my whole fucking world. And you just think of the weirdest shit. In moments of death, your brain just goes whoosh,
Yeah.
down the fucking drain.
And then that's why these girls, in a moment like this, they are pushed to a corner
Yeah.
where they have to actually use their witchcraft when they don't want to.
Exactly.
This movie fucking flips though. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that like
6 times.
I was like, okay, this is cool up until like when Angelov is introduced.
Yeah.
And then it turns into this crime thriller.
Oh,
It turns
yeah.
into like, oh my god, he's fucking beating her.
Yeah.
He's
Kidnapped both of them now?
Yeah.
this cowboy Dracula, which
Yeah.
they do call
They
him.
call him that.
Is just really abusing Nicole Kidman.
Right.
And I'm like, this is so much more serious than I thought it was.
Hell
yeah.
I thought this was like along the lines of like Clueless or like, you know, like
Yeah,
a
like
90s
fun
Hocus Pocus.
90s.
fun. Yeah, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
But this got a little real. And for her, like, what an interesting thing to do to kind of mix the genre of like witchcraft, right? Or
Right.
that. Mix that with like, oh my god, like a real domestic issue. Like she has to use her witchcraft
Yeah.
to put this guy to sleep so that she could like get away for a bit.
Well, like that's the crazy thing is it's like I feel like witchcraft inherently is kind of feministic in the sense of whenever you hear about it or people talk about it or you like go on Tumblr and go like hashtag witchcraft, it's very like feministic regardless of your gender, regardless of where you come from.
Yeah.
It has a very feminine tone to it.
Well, I mean, isn't magic in its sense like honoring the female
Yeah,
form? And
like
fe-
in history, females were like healers, witches. They
Mother
were
Earth.
burned at the fucking stake for it. So yeah, but like nowadays, like especially, it's become more like feministic. It's become like kind of like a community. I don't really like get into that stuff, but like. Good on you if you do that. But like I think this movie kind of like really highlights what it's like to be a woman and feel like you don't have powers and then realizing that you do.
that you're a witch.
That you're a witch and
you
you
have
could just
all
murder
powers.
someone.
And
But,
bring them back.
And bring them back and then murder them again.
They didn't do any cool stuff with their magic though. That's what I like.
Well, like that's the point of the movie. It's like it's more of a realistic kind of magic. And
Practical
it's
magic.
but then they went too
practical
campy with it. Then
magic.
I would have
will-
loved to have
That's
seen
why
this.
it's like there needs to be a remake.
Yeah, I
with,
would've-
based on the book more.
Yeah.
And oh man, the book is so like even the book is kind of campy because she's like
Because it's inherently, I mean,
it's
witches
from the
and
90s.
Yeah.
Well, it's from the 90s. The book itself, she did such a good job, but randomly she'll be like, and then they had sex, and you're
Nice.
like, huh.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And you're just like, why couldn't you say that like better?
Sooner.
Yeah.
Oh. I have a couple of questions, and maybe
Yeah.
you can explain them
Yeah.
to me. One, does none of the children know how to eat pudding? Because
No.
all of them have pudding
All of them have
all over their
pudding on
fucking
their fucking
faces.
I thought
faces.
either that was pudding
It's
or their
chocolate.
lips were
It's
really
chocolate
chapped.
frosting. It's chocolate
Frosting,
frosting.
whatever.
Because they were peeking through the railings of the stairs.
They're just
Like,
covered
what's
in
going
shit.
on? Girl, check your upper lip
fucking
right quick
face.
because you got a whole snack resting up on there.
They clearly had enough time to wipe their mouths.
Yes.
They made the conscious decision to not both of them.
Yeah.
Baby Nicole Kidman and baby Sandra Bullock, and then Sandra Bullock's kids. All four of them make a
Don't
conscious
wash
decision
your
to like
face.
never wipe their mouth.
Like I get
I'll
going
save this
against
for later.
I get going against the grain because they are witches
BT
of society.
dubs.
But they're just like, nah, fuck it. We are different, and especially in the sense
In
that
our
we don't
pudding.
wipe our mouths.
Well, like from an actor's perspective, because I'm also an
If anyone's looking for an actress, we got one here.
yeah. Let's read her resume real quick.
5 foot
no,
nothing.
it would be like literally nothing on it.
This is Kate Pursley. She's an improviser, actor, screenwriter,
God.
pudding eater,
Pudding eater.
and tarot card reader. And
Let's see this
I
pudding
am a
skills.
professional pudding eater.
if we had pudding here, I'd make you eat it on air.
I hate pudding, so no.
What?
I
What?
love
But you love this
vanilla
movie.
What? You like the
Vanilla?
worst? What?
Is your favorite food ice?
Bill Cosby is rolling over in his grave right now.
Cosby's a rapist. I don't care what he does.
He's rolling over in his cell right now.
Oh shit, that's right.
That's
He's not
what it
dead
is,
yet.
bro.
Fuck, my bad. Yikes. I have his autograph.
Oh man.
Oh, the pudding, the pudding. Oh.
The pudding pop.
Is there something better than pudding in this?
I think I zippity do no.
Sorry, Bill.
Come on, babies. We're allowed to make fun of him. He's a piece of shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a fake doctor.
Listen, I loved his stand-up when I didn't know he was a fucking rapist.
But then you
He's
should
an
listen to his
amazing
stand-up because it's in
comedian.
there.
P.S. Oh, he's a rapist.
It's in his
Yes.
stand-up. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't hide it.
No,
Man.
yeah, no. You look back at it and you're like, whoa.
Anyways,
Anyways.
practical magic. So they don't know how to eat pudding.
So they don't know how to eat pudding. Here's like why I think that's like a fucking script choice and acting choice is because at the beginning the ants say like they're irresponsible. Even in the book,
Yeah.
they're irresponsible. They don't actually know how to raise kids.
They eat chocolate for dinner.
Like they eat chocolate for dinner. They don't do homework. They don't actually like in the book, the aunts really don't watch over Sally and Jillian. Sally watches over Jillian and takes care of Jillian, which is why she's so controlling.
Sidebar, where is Diane Wiest from?
Diane
She's a
Wiest?
mom of something.
Oh,
She's
I don't
in
know,
the
but they're-
birdcage.
Yes. She's all the other aunt, not Jet.
She's in something too.
That's
Yeah,
Rizzo.
she's Rizzo.
Rizzo.
That's Rizzo from Greece, bro.
Yeah.
I love Rizzo
What's her
so
name?
much.
I have it here.
There
actually.
are worse things I could do. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Stalker Channing is
Stalker Channing,
Rizzo,
yeah.
and then Diane Wiest.
Tell me what she's from. I see her face in glasses. In my mind's eye, if I close my actual eyes,
Which one? Diane Wiest?
Diane Wiest. She's a mother, a loving
Oh,
mother.
she's from Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
Also
She works for
Footloose.
Avon.
Footloose
Avon.
and The Lost Boys. She's also in The Lost Boys.
Thank you, dude. That was an itch that I've been trying to
The
scratch.
Lost Boys is so
I love
good.
Lost Boys.
Oh God,
Oh.
Watch
man.
that
Poor
for
Corey
the first
Feldman.
time last year. Loved
Really?
it. Loved it.
Is that something we could do?
It might be too good.
Okay.
But
Honestly, at that end line though, all the damn vampires.
All the
you have to invite me into the house. That one has like weird rules for vampires too, and like you have to. The man of the house has to invite him in.
It's all interconnected because there's a there's a fucking vampire
There's
in
a
here too.
goddamn vampire.
Angelov could die. He did.
Yeah.
He did, and he could die
A
more than
couple
he
of
did in
times.
here.
He died a couple
well,
of
that's
of
because they
times.
resurrected him.
Yeah. And the most famous line from this film that we've dissected is
My wife.
I want you to be my wife.
He doesn't have a Borat voice, but that's how we interpret it.
That's how whatever his country is east or west of Transylvania. It's that.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I think it's called Kazakhstan.
It's definitely my wife.
I want you to be my wife.
In the
to be
book,
my
is
wife.
Sally older than Jillian?
Yeah, Sally's the oldest and Jillian's younger.
And they are blood related.
Yes, they're
So then,
full
why do
sisters.
they do blood oaths?
It's
Can you explain that?
He texted me this question.
I am so confused. If they are already blood sisters,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
are they doing blood
It's
oaths?
because basically like Jillian was leaving because Jillian the whole thing with the two women there's
Is that how
always
Jillian got
two
power?
Huh? Yeah, Jillian has powers. They both have
okay, she
powers,
does,
but
okay.
Sally has like more prominent powers, which makes Jillian jealous. And by the way, I'm going to be talking like both book and movie. through all
That's
this.
fine. No, you're
But
perfect
just
for
a
this.
caveat to just
So
let us
like,
know which is
yeah,
which.
just so basically
We should
like
give you a flag.
This is
This
movie.
is movie. This is book.
So basically, in the movie, like what happens is Jillian is leaving. Jillian found a guy that she likes and wants to leave, wants to get out of there. They both want to get out of there because neither of them want to practice witchcraft because the main point of the movie is the curse, which is if you fall in love, that man is going to die.
And so when they find that out, the two little girls, they're like, they see the when they find out the witchcraft that the witches are doing, and they kind of baby Sandy Bullock is like, oh, I never want to fall in love, and then baby Nicole Kidman's like, I can't wait to fall in love. Does that mean Nicole Kidman wants to kill a bunch of men?
No. So basically, like they.
Good thinking though.
I'm so confused.
The whole point. Oh man, there's so many. I wish we were watching this as I was explaining it.
Me too. I had so many questions.
Throw it on.
I own it now. If my laptop was charged, we could.
So basically, at the beginning, like this is a thing in the book, though. Like there's weird things that are still in the book and in the movie.
Yeah.
So like this woman does come to their house. The aunts do meddle in people's love lives. That's a consistent thing through the movie and the book.
And that's a thing witches do.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty common.
That's a pretty common thing is like love and stuff.
Yeah, helping people get over things.
Right. So like so basically like this woman comes to the aunt's house and everyone in the town in the movie and the book are scared of them, but also secretly go to them for help.
See, they didn't explain that enough.
No, they did not explain that enough.
Because in the end, when they bring all the moms in to help, it's like, I thought all these women hated them.
Yeah, they hate them, but everyone in the town is curious of them. And the thing that I wish they explained in the movie is like Maria was banished to this island that everyone lives on first. She was there first. And then all those
there's so many
townspeople-
holes in the movie.
But they say that, but they don't like make a point to like really
explain. Hey,
so they're all related to her then.
No, they all come from the mainland and moved to the island. No,
We're so confused,
Stop
dude.
it.
I'm trying.
So like, basically, this woman comes to the house and she's just like, I need help with my love life. And in the book, this is way more explained. So I'm going to explain the book.
Oh, that girl that came in for a quick sec.
Perfect.
So basically, in the book, she works at a soda pop shop, and they say soda pop.
I love that.
And she basically like is in love with the owner, and the owner is married, and so she goes to the aunts and is like, "Please make him fall in love with me." And they always do this. They're like, "Are you sure?"
Because this girl said,
she's like, I want him to love me more than.
I want him to love me so much that it agonizes him or some shit like that.
I want him to love me so much that it hurts.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling.
Not a good thing. And that's the whole point of like real life, like empathy, witchcraft shit is it's like, don't fucking say shit so casually.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta mean what you mean.
It's basically be careful what you wish for. I think that's
Exactly.
exactly what they
that's
said.
the whole
what they
point of the
said.
movie is be careful what you wish for. So like in the beginning, in the book, she like goes to the aunt, she like finds Sally and Jillian in the yard and she's like, where are your aunts? Where are your aunts? And like they're like, we don't know. We're like 6 and 7 or whatever, how old they are in the book. And like, so basically like she goes in, she gives them money. And in the book, they explicitly say that there is a spell that the aunts where like
Over the people of England.
Where are you from, Kate? What are you hiding from us?
I'm from Manchester.
So like, there's a spell that the ants cast.
Oh wow! Now you're from
Stick to a vowel.
Georgia.
Damn it!
My auntie's
Where are you
cast
from? Is your name Kate?
Wow.
I'm not gonna answer that question. So basically, this woman goes into the house, and the spell is that she has to pierce the heart of a dove, and then it's
So they get a dirty pigeon instead in the movie.
Was it a dirty
It
pigeon?
was a dirty pigeon.
A fucking dove.
That was a dirty pigeon.
Okay.
Was it a pigeon spay painted?
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
It was already
you
dead.
can see, like, yeah.
Get over here.
So basically, she has to pierce the heart, and then in the book, it goes into further detail about her. So she basically
Because in the movie,
she cuts off.
about 30 seconds.
I really
Yeah.
thought that was going to come back at least like later
And then
on.
she comes back in the spell circle. She's randomly in the spell circle.
Oh, they hit her back up?
Yeah.
What the fuck,
I didn't notice
dude?
that till later.
I have
We
so much
had
to say about the
watch
spell
this
circle.
Movie together.
Yeah, let's go into the spell
Yes.
circle because
No,
I got a couple.
No. We have to go. This is gonna be so confusing to people.
Yeah, you're
who
right.
are
You're right.
listening.
Okay.
So the kids witnessed that, right?
They witness that, and basically, like,
Why does she say she wants to fall in love all the time?
So Sally perceives it as in the book and in the movie. She perceives it as like falling in love is like bad.
Yeah.
Like falling in love is being like at the mercy of someone else, and she's control. Like she needs control in
know
the
a couple
movie
women
and
like
the
that.
book. It's because she like in the book she witnessed like she found out her parents died in a bungalow fire. Like they were on vacation and something caught a blaze and they died in a fire. In the movie, her father died from the curse and her mother committed suicide.
No,
So-
she died of a broken heart.
Sure. So that's why like they're like, do you forgive our mother? And she's like, sometimes. It's because she killed herself.
Yeah.
So like so
broken
basically yeah. So basically like when Sally sees this, she's like, if you're in love, you're not in control anymore and you can't like protect the people you are around you, like her younger sister or like her kids. So she's very like, I can't do that. Whereas Jillian is like very free, very like, I just want to love people. I just want to be with a bunch of people. That's fine with me. So she's like, I can't wait to fall in love. So that's why they have the two different perspectives. It's the perspective of someone who has to take care of everyone and the perspective of someone who does not have to take care of everyone.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is, it's right from the get, you could see their differences.
Yeah.
Like, I already knew it was like, what a clever way at the earlier part of the movie for baby Sandra Bullock to say, okay, I want to fall in love. I'm casting this love spell.
Right.
On a gentleman with one blue eye, one green eye.
David Bowie.
His favorite shape is stars.
David Bowie actually doesn't have two different colored eyes. One is permanently dilated, one is not.
Wow, that's already wild, too.
He's also a fourth-degree black magician. Was.
And he's dead.
Yeah.
He loved his
We should try to do Labyrinth, by the way. With young Jennifer
Bowie.
Connelly. Yeah.
I do love me some Bowie.
I'm down.
Love Labyrinth.
100% down.
You're going to have to keep me on track, though, because I'll get lost in Bowie talk.
You'll get lost. No. And I love Jennifer Connelly. So I'll
We'll get lost in Jennifer Connelly talk.
Listen, that movie is epic.
Yes, and people always talk about like how tight his pants were.
They're trying to They're trying to remake Labyrinth, aren't they?
They tried, and then he died.
But like they're trying again, aren't they?
I don't know.
With who else though? Who could replace Bowie?
Tyler the Creator.
He wrote all of the music for that movie.
I'm sorry, Tyler the Creator as in the remake. Down. Sign me up as a viewer.
Listen,
good idea, man.
Thank you.
That's cool. Actually, that's really good. Of your many ideas, that's easily top 5.
Solid.
When Sandra Bullock comes back to the house with her kids,
yes.
Yeah.
How come? I noticed this about 3 different times. People get into bed with Sandra Bullock, and then the camera like cuts, and then that person's not in the bed anymore.
So
Witches,
basically,
dude.
The bed makes people disappear.
Witchcraft.
Man, it's so much easier to understand this when you read the book.
I don't know how to read.
Why didn't you tell us?
Don't worry,
I only do
worry.
Braille.
Well, it's because like the book and the movie are so different, so I didn't want you to get frustrated. So like,
God damn it, Kate.
so like, and I've watched this since I was like 12, so I like really get in depth in this movie.
Yeah.
So like, the reason why they pan and then all of a sudden the lighting changes or the like setting
Her acid
like,
trip driving in the car.
No, it's because she's in such like a deep depression that basically like she's just in bed for a week. Like she's in bed for a full week.
See, I thought that was realistic. If her husband passing away so abruptly, having been in that or being in that deep of a depression to where you just can't even get out of bed to even help your own children.
Right.
That's realistic. My question is though, the kids did not seem to be phased whatsoever.
Dead
man,
They're
they
like, I
barely show
want
the
new
kid.
daddy over
Evan
here.
Rachel Wood didn't even care, bro.
Well, Evan Rachel Wood is like
7 years old. Doesn't even look like her.
Other girl didn't do
and now
anything in
and
Hollywood.
then she was in True Blood.
In Westworld.
Yeah.
And
Who is she in Westworld?
What? She's the main.
The main girl.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Oh, you just blew your mind, huh?
Man.
She's also the girl from Across the Universe.
She's so amazing.
Sorry if you guys keep making me gasp.
Yeah, No,
it's fine.
Fucking implode.
She's insane. She's insane as an actor. She's so good.
Oh, she's solid.
And she dated like Marilyn Manson. Who did she date for a long time?
Marilyn Manson.
It was Marilyn Manson.
And then they
Got in
broke
a
up
lot
because
trouble.
of domestic violence.
Because he beat the shit out of her.
Coming back to Angelov, my wife.
Well,
Well, what was she saying? No, I'm just kidding.
That's wild. So I'm so confused as to how quickly they fucking re-killed Angelov when they brought him back.
okay.
They literally brought him back just to kill him.
Yeah.
Here, let's go through it. So, like, basically, like, Evan Rachel Wood goes into bed with Sandra Bullock, her mom, and tries to comfort her because she is so depressed that she can't get out of bed and take them to school. I don't think they showed the kids because they couldn't. They probably were like, these kids can't have the acting range of going through grief about their dad dying.
Evan Rachel
which
Wood
is
did.
fair. But Evan Rachel Wood is so good, which is why they did briefly show her. She was trying to cheer up her mom.
Yeah.
And then Jillian comes and comforts her. And that whole scene is kind of confusing to people because it's like, was she there? Was she not there? Witchcraft. So then,
Okay, easy answer.
oh God, basically, so Jillian is in a domestically abusive relationship with this guy, Jimmy Angelov, who she thinks is extremely attractive, extremely.
That guy was creeping at that pool party.
Oh man.
But
yeah.
it doesn't. it's not necessarily as creepy as the three dudes
who were dancing around.
They were
What
just
were the
all
90s like?
thrusting 2 inches away from her.
That reminds me of Ren Fair, though. So I grew up in Ren Fair in like the late 90s. And let me tell you, that was a very accurate scene.
Like, what, just like dudes at the Ren Fair coming up to you?
No, hell no. I was like tiny. I was 5.
Come on, Christian.
No. But like, I know that you've done it. You guys just did it last year.
No, that's Dickens.
No, that's Dickens.
Dickens Fair is like
way
nerd.
different, bro.
That's like way
Come
nerdy.
on, dude.
Ren Fair,
I'm sorry.
So I'll explain this. So
This is
Ren
even
Fair was in
nerdier.
like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
You never went to a Renaissance Fair?
Is
No.
like,
He did-
oh man,
I don't understand.
Okay.
I don't
Oh,
understand the
man.
culture of Dickens Fair or Ren Fair.
Okay, so
A Renaissance Fair is way different,
Renaissance
though.
Fair is way different because it's like it's not as much historically accurate. It's more so people dressing in like ye old clothes and Renaissance
Whatever
times.
that means.
And whatever the fuck that means, whatever
your titties
costume
up.
check, because there's always a costume
Not
check.
shaving.
Oh,
Says,
corsets
yeah,
and
sure.
whatnot.
Oh man, yeah. And so like basically then you get into this like 1500s garb and you run around, you get drunk and you say like weird shit. Like my dad used to have a 3-tier stage and they would do full fencing bouts, like real fencing on those stage, on the like the 3-tier stage. And then at night they would have parties. Like everyone in fair would have parties and like everyone would sleep together and everyone would be in each other's business and that kind of shit.
People got down.
Yeah. My dad made this thing called Skush.
Huh?
And basically it was like
What's gush, man? And how can I guess?
so basically
I got
like
some
the
for you.
women were like the women were saying like, oh, man, like the guys are so hot. Like there's always stuff for like guys. Why is there never stuff for women? And so my dad like jokingly and like kind of seriously was like, well, why don't we make a competition where the women rate all of the men's butts? So it's Skush a tush.
That's happened with us. We were at we'll come back to your story, but I do
Yeah.
want to get this little dollop of a
ahead.
story. And we were at a lingerie party, me, you, and Austin Scott. We were there, and we were told we were objectified, crazily objectified.
Why do I
We
have
were
no knowledge of
chilling.
this?
And there was a girl at the party who was throwing the party along with her 2 other friends saying, hey, you 3, hands on the wall, turn around, we're going to rate your butts.
No.
And I knew I had the smallest butt.
You were like, no.
Yeah.
Was
but
this
I had
my
the biggest dick.
Was this my skinny jeans face?
What?
Was this my skinny jeans face?
We were
Yeah, which phase was
early
this?
college. Early college.
Yeah, probably then.
Yes. So that's when it was happening.
I don't
That's when
remember
you
this.
had a skinny jeans phase? Early college?
Well, like right out of high school. Well, I didn't go to college for very long. I didn't
we
spend a
took
lot
theater
of time
classes. Yeah.
there. I never had the attention span, but I don't remember this at
No,
all.
we were like we were getting arrested, hands on the wall,
No
and
way.
they came and,
three.
and they came and squished us.
And they didn't touch us. They just
that's
looked
lame.
at it. And
I got a good butt.
yeah, solid.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I got good hams.
I would agree better than my. Anyway, yes.
Christian is shaped kind of like a comma, where he has big shoulders and then he kind of flattens out. At
And I don't get it, and I try to work out on my butt. And it's
Right.
just like, it doesn't
you-
matter how many squats you're going to go do, it's going to go to your chest. It's just like,
honestly, hey, I wish I had that problem.
if we were to morph into one being,
He'd be so sexy,
Solid.
but hated by Donald
So-
Trump.
probably. Okay,
be so
I'm sorry.
envious.
To continue with your butt story.
So basically, like my dad would hold this competition where, and everyone got into it. Like I remember this time when everyone was like dressing up in like kind of BDSM clothes. Like I was exposed to a lot as a child. Let's just say that.
Wow.
It was bad. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm seeing people make out and have. It was just like people just expressing themselves freely. Like, so basically, like, it was just like a fun competition, and everyone would get drunk and everyone would have fun, and we all like camped at the fair. Like at Dickens Fair, you go home. Like at Ren Fair,
don't wanna
you
stay
would
there at night.
camp there. Like it's outside. It's huge. So like you would just sleep there, and then the booths that were food booths would make breakfast in the morning, and you would get breakfast.
Food booze?
Yeah, food
Booth.
booths.
Booths. I was so confused as to what that
I'm
meant.
so bad about pronunciation or enunciation.
Yeah, because you said cost earlier.
Yeah, cost.
You
Cost spell.
you have a slurry of notes. I'm
There's
sure that
my
you want to get
questions.
through, and questions and notes. This is gonna be more of an interview rather than a movie review
Why
because
was I talking about fair? I don't even
know.
remember.
I don't know. We'll
To
rewind
fill the
it.
time, you know,
Yeah,
fill the
yeah.
minutes.
Oh man.
When they have their midnight margaritas,
Yeah.
it was weird that like at first I thought the kids couldn't hear them, but then the little girl's playing the coconut song on the kazoo. They definitely heard him.
That's good. That's good continuity, actually.
Noticed that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Immediately, she was playing on the kazoo, and then with hungover Sandy Bullock, she's like, "Get
that's
that
funny.
shit out of here."
Hungover Sandy Bullock is a
I
boss.
think that's a good continuity because Sandra Bullock and Jillian and Sally also were like midnight margaritas when they heard the like song.
Yeah.
But like obviously either they had drank with the aunts before or I'd heard them drinking.
Probably, I think they probably heard them as kids.
Yeah.
And then now
Yes.
that they're adults, now they're going down there and enjoying it.
It looked like it was a
themselves.
thing,
Yeah.
especially with Nicole Kidman having
Yeah.
come back coming back home. This is just like just like the old times, but they were drinking hard.
Well,
Well, they
that's-
did just murder somebody.
Well, that's because did
True.
you notice that the bottle of tequila was his bottle of tequila?
Well, that's what they said. That's why they
Yeah.
were freaking out once they started singing.
and that's why they got so drunk. That's why they were acting like so like
Being mean to each other?
yeah, being mean to each other.
Yo, I had to pause it because I was like, this is gonna turn to a cat fight real quick.
Well, like, so basically, obviously, the aunts have not obviously, but if you infer, the aunts have a tradition of making midnight margaritas and drinking together and having fun and just really letting loose in their, like, witchiness and their femininity, blah, 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 which is what at the beginning of that scene they all do together.
I did appreciate that
Yeah.
they made like them laughing.
Yeah.
These were all like tip of the hats to like witch
Witches.
culture. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. They were cackling. They were like
cackling,
Yeah,
yes,
like
that's the
actually
word.
like snorting and stuff instead of being like, oh, I'm a woman.
Yeah, it wasn't like graceful
Yeah,
laughs.
no, it was like actual laughter. And like them dancing around and not giving a shit about who's watching. But then when they get into like really like doing readings for each other or like calling each other out, it gets really vicious really fast. And then all of a sudden, that's when they notice that the tequila bottle they're drinking shots out of is the same brand that Jimmy would
Had.
drink out of.
Yeah.
And then they ask the aunts, like, where did you get this? And they're like, it was left
Someone
out on the
left
porch.
it on the porch.
Yeah, to You Were Always on My Mind, which is what Jimmy was
Yeah.
singing before he died.
Yeah.
That shit is like,
was wild.
Yeah.
Man. What else you got on there? It seems like you took a lot of like notes. Like I'm curious as to what you're asked because when you were texting me with your questions, we had a lot of the same questions.
Well, and then, I mean, just the kind of weird things like, why would they bury him in the front yard? Like where the
where the
rose
fuck
garden
else
is?
are they supposed to bury him?
They
No one
prob-
comes on the property.
They should have put his body in the car and burned the whole thing. Because now they have the evidence of the car, which is exactly what the cop called
But
them out
then
on.
they wouldn't have the remnants of the car on their property. Like a car
Well,
is
no, you don't need to do that. No. First of all, you're right. They probably would be dumb enough to burn the car on their property because based on their burn pile that they have at the end of the movie, which was way too close to their
Here's-
structures, they don't know where to burn stuff.
Here's the thing. I'm going to interject. Is that people outside of California hardcore burn shit on their property.
Of course they do, but they don't do it that close to
They
structures.
fucking do though.
No way.
I swear to God.
Look, I've been to places that do burn holes in Texas and shit like that, and no way, bro.
In
Well, you wouldn't
Oregon,
Oh,
everyone
fucking
burns on their
Oregon.
property.
Yeah, they're burning pot. They're burning that devil's lettuce.
No. Listen to
stoners.
me. Listen. Everyone
I don't
like,
condone.
This is in Southern Oregon, so this is like on the tip of like fucking California. Everyone
Stoners.
burns like their garbage
Yeah.
or their old shit literally on their. I like almost called the fire department like 3 times because I was like, this is dangerous. And I had to talk
Not
to
if
one of
you're
my
on top
friends,
of
and
it.
she was like, no, this is normal. People will go outside, like walk 3 feet out, make
their
a
shit.
nice pile, and burn shit in their front lawns.
So okay, that makes
and
sense.
I guess
So
I've seen
that's
it in
normal.
Texas where people have more space, and generally when I've seen people do burn pits, they don't. I guess the
Well,
basic rule
if
for a
you
normal
have the
person would be.
fucking, if you have the fucking area for it, they
course.
do. But if you don't, like in the suburban parts, suburban meaning like, you know, houses are close together, property is shorter, like you just burn shit on your front lawn.
But if they burned, let's say they did burn the body and the car initially, there
They're
wouldn't
on
be
an
much
island.
of a movie, right?
remains. There would still be bones there. Even if
Yeah,
you
but
like
then
burn
they'd be like,
somebody.
I didn't do that. I didn't. But the fact that they had his car on their property and couldn't tell a lie about why it was there. Also, the detective seemed to be a really good detective at first,
Yeah.
but then makes like
Well,
really
we barely even talked about Mr. Hallett.
the detective
Yeah.
Hallett.
Detective Hallett. I'm so
Detective
sorry.
Hallett like starts off really good, really
Yeah.
strong, but then like really ruins his own case like multiple times. He really shouldn't have kissed Sandra Bullock. I was really
Oh, man.
like
I didn't expect
Why,
that.
though?
I almost dropped my cup of coffee
Why
this morning.
shouldn't he?
what, because that ruins his investigation. He's a detective. He has to
Someone has a crush on Detective Hallett.
No, Sandra Bullock's hot. I would kiss her.
Oh, that
Sandra
part.
Bullock
Yeah.
committed
Oh,
murder in the second degree. She's a
Alex,
murderer.
you're thinking too much of this.
this is why he didn't send in that recording of her committing the murder. it's because he was already under the
He was
spell.
the subject of
So
the
he's
spell.
aiding and abetting a criminal.
Yes, he knew what he was doing, or he didn't know what he was doing, but he was just like, I want to protect this girl.
Once again, the
just hope
book
he
explains more.
I just hope
I'm
he turned
sure.
in his badge after that, because if he's still a police officer after that,
You listen to me, Alex. Shut your mouth.
you listen to me. He has an open confession for at least manslaughter, definitely murder in the second.
How did it, so his star? I was so confused. His fucking badge saved him
because it's made out
later
of
on.
Well,
silver?
it's because his favorite, that's his favorite symbol. That's a spell that she put on him. His favorite symbol will be a star. And she put,
She put powers into the
like
symbol.
basically,
when
like,
he's trying to Kali Ma him.
he believes in the power of this symbol. He believes in the power of his badge.
And that will
so
save him.
because of that, he puts his energy into that and he
Oh, it's his belief.
So they believe.
it's his belief.
It's his goddamn fucking belief, bro.
This doesn't make sense because wasn't the whole thing like spells don't work if you don't believe in them then?
Yeah.
So then he does believe in magic and stuff then.
And that, like, that's the point is it's like, it's not about the whole concept of that moment in the movie. It's not like, that's the point of people like not believing in magic is no matter what, it's not about the word magic. It's about your beliefs. It's about what you fucking believe in. And that's
Yeah.
why Sandra Bullock and Jillian messed up. I keep saying like Jillian Nicole Kidman, but like that's why Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock fuck up.
I do like how we call her Sandy Bullock this whole time.
Yeah,
And then
I've
Jillian.
not once said Sandra,
Jillian.
and I'm pissed.
Sandy.
So, like,
We know her.
The reason why like they fucked up with resurrecting Jimmy and all that shit and all that went south is because they don't fucking fully believe in their powers.
But if they had believed from the
And
start,
if they had consulted the aunts, if they had gone full throttle, which is what they should have done, everything would be fine.
yeah. Okay, there's logic in that.
Yeah.
I just want to say I have my notes are things like where's the one that I thought was what the fuck? Jimmy comes back?
Yeah.
Now he's Kali Maing the detective? The bed and then the badge did it? What? I don't understand.
So here's the thing with the resurrection of Jimmy is that's why they kind of highlight in the movie at least you can't resurrect your dead husband Michael because he'll come back as something else. As
and
something
so what he's
dark.
coming back at is
So
this
like
demon.
when they resurrect Jimmy and Sandra Bullock is like, no, we can't resurrect him. I asked him about like when we asked about Michael, they said that, and then Nicole Kidman's like, no, I'm trying to say Nicole
It's
Kidman.
good. She deserved it.
I'm like, no, Nicole Kidman's like, well, Jimmy's already dark and unnatural, so he'll come back as himself. But what he comes back is, and why we love this quote, is all he can say to her is, I want you to be my wife, and start strangling her.
And they find out that he's done that to multiple women.
And that's the point.
That
Is
was a
like
weird
that's
turn,
the
too.
darkest part of us human being, and that's what he comes back as.
What?
So this detective is I think he has to be an FBI agent.
No, he's not. Not
I
in the
know
book.
he's not, but he has to be if he's following a serial killer who's from California, right?
No, he's from. So basically, in the book
Arizona?
and in the movie, he's from Arizona.
The killer?
Yeah.
The
Jimmy.
killer and the cop are both from Arizona.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, they've been
Small
doing a
world.
cat and
Yeah.
mouse type
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly.
Whoa.
That's what it is. Also,
This turned real Scooby-Doo real quick.
The detective is in. The detective. This isn't a case for the detective. He's doing this on his own then, because as soon as the guy leaves the state, that becomes a
Basically.
federal crime.
Yeah,
No wonder
basically.
he's not afraid to kiss Sandra
That's
Bullock.
exactly
Oh my
why.
God! He's over here trying to PI the motherfucking
He's not
chick.
attached to any establishment.
That's why his badge looks so nondescript. That's
Because
not
he got it from Dollar
That's
Joe's.
not a police badge. That's just his favorite silver star.
He just
Oh
wanted it
my
there.
God.
And that's why they keep calling him Mr. Hallett.
And when
No,
the kid
here's
asks
the
to see his
thing.
gun,
Oh,
he
he's
doesn't
innocent.
show her
Here's the
because
thing.
he doesn't have one.
That's a lie. All of you are inferring. No, okay, listen.
Okay.
I get it now.
I did listen.
I understand
Listen,
the movie
we've
now.
sleuthed the case.
I'm a better detective than this bitch.
So, like, in the book, he is a detective. He does work for the Arizona Police Department. And Jimmy, basically, in the book, did not kill women and was not a serial killer, but he was a drug dealer. And what he dealt, supposedly,
Still
was
a
weed, but he actually dealt peyote to kids.
Oh,
so they would
oh.
OD on
Those
peyote.
kids are awesome. Wait, can you put OD on peyote?
I think in the book you do.
Shit, I could OD on water right
So
now,
like
man.
basically they like thought they were smoking weed. They were
Like,
actually
fell on them?
smoking peyote.
The
They
peyote
took too
fell on them.
much,
That's how they
and
died.
or like something like that, and they OD'd.
That's
Like they
insane.
basically would have convulsions,
Yeah.
and then they died. And he like Gary Hallett is like this guy is basically like he wasn't mad about like in the book he's not mad about him selling weed. He's like mad about the fact that he just would sell people different drugs than what they were expecting, and that's what made them die.
This guy's justice barometer is so weird.
Well, like he's like all like his parents were alcoholics in the book. He
So he's a way bigger part in the book.
Yeah, hell yeah. He's hella cool in the book. Like, he's actually like 6'3". He has dark hair, dark eyes. He's just like a chill ass motherfucker. He's like, I will cry in front of people. That doesn't matter to me. All about like, he'll see like a dead like animal carcass on the road and then he'll like stop his truck and bury it. Like, that's a full ass thing in the book. And he is all about like just vibing people out. And he can't help but like see, like in the book, if you look him in the eyes, he will see you to your core. Like Sally's like shook when she sees him because she's like, oh my God, he knows I murdered someone.
Because she definitely did.
But like in the book is the weird thing is they didn't murder him. He OD'd. Sally drove his OD'd body to our...
That's a better
Jillian
story. I think that's better.
Yeah, it's way better. It's way better because it's like Jillian drives his OD'd dead body to Sally's house in New York. And Sally's like, well, fuck it. I don't know what to do. And I'm in charge of you. So we'll bury him in my backyard. So that's the whole point is that they're irresponsible. They don't know how to use magic. They use magic loosely. And then shit ensues. So like... Gary Hallett in the book, his parents were alcoholics. All of his whole arc is about lightning, which is really dope. Lightning, bro.
Whoa.
Like he knows someone in high school who was struck by lightning. Like two people who were in love with the aunts were struck by lightning. And
wait, this is Hallett we're talking about.
Yeah. And like
Detective.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Detective Hallett.
And like his grandpa was struck by lightning and survived and raised him.
Ooh, holy shit. This is like a full-on anthology that it needs to be.
And basically he's in Arizona. He's trying to suss out where Jimmy Angelo is and is like, he's a drug dealer. He deals people like different drugs than what they're expecting in the OD. And he's a horrible man. He beats people. He like gets in fights constantly. And they went to high school together is the other thing. So he's known him.
So this vendetta's been going on.
Because he took his girl to prom or something.
They didn't. I would be down. That's like this. We say this all the time on the podcast that the movies that we watch should become miniseries. Oh
yeah,
if anything.
Yeah.
Like give us a limited series, at least one season.
1000%.
Because to jam pack this into an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Is
a lot to take in, which is why the movie is so confusing but good.
It is. Yeah. Now that you're explaining it to me, I'm liking it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know what I would like to see? What? I think right now what's really interesting is like how movies have like shared universes, but they kind of take place at different times. I would like to see a movie. Let's take Practical Magic, for example, and then they make the next movie is everything told from the detective's point of view. So, and then the next one is like everything told from Angelo's point of view. I would like to see that. That's the cool part
about the book is they go through different perspectives on the characters.
I would like the sequel to be all of the detective story.
Detective,
and then we see him like overlap a little bit.
Yeah. Detective Hallett's perspective is basically like he finds Sally's letter because he's on the porch of Jimmy Angelo's house, and then she sends Jillian that letter.
He couldn't keep track of that letter. Yeah,
he gets it, and then he reads it, and he realizes like this person is exactly who I want to be with. Like he's enticed by her because she's a fucking witch, and she like exudes that. Yeah, and so he's just like totally like irrationally he literally gets a plane ticket to New York. Is like tells his department like whoever is in charge of him. Because they moved
to New York, that's right.
Whoever's in charge of him, he's like, I'm going to New York to follow a lead. I might bring Jimmy Angelo back, I might not. And so he goes to New York, and basically in the back of his mind, his dialogue is all like, I know that I'm really going to New York to meet Sally. I'm not going to find out who
love.
So he knew it was for
love.
So which is what the movie kind of like misses a little.
Yeah, because it was a very abrupt that he just kissed her. Because I knew they had some tension, but I thought he was just trying to like play mind games with her to get information. But then,
well, and that's the cool part about the book is he's still trying to be a detective, and he's still trying to be like, where the fuck is this guy though?
Yeah.
The car is in your driveway. Where is he? And he can tell when people are lying to him, and she knows that. And so they have this deep bond connection. She doesn't do that spell in the book. She just doesn't believe in love in the book. Wow. So she's struck by him and is like, oh no, gross. And he's just like, oh, I love her, but I have to solve this mystery. I can't stop my detective brain, and the car is in the driveway. So where is his body? Yeah. And so he's thinking that Jillian is duping her and is like trying to hide Jimmy somewhere, and that she's the sweet woman. Then he realizes, no, Jimmy's dead and he's somewhere in New York.
Wild, dude. You know so much about this movie.
But he covers it up. He fucking covers it up in the book and the movie.
You've read the book how many times?
Twice.
Twice. Okay, so you know your
I read it recently too. Like
Wow.
I read it like at the beginning of April. Mm-hmm. And then I read it again like a month ago.
And so it must be very interesting for you to be able to make these
Yeah.
connections, obviously. God damn. I mean, like, if I had more time in the world, I'd read all the books that I could, and I would have...
Then I have a Twilight Zone episode for you, my friend.
Whoa! We are getting closer to the end. There are a few more things that I do want to talk about, like the broom circle. Because that fucking blew my mind that...
Someone would bring a vacuum with them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, is this good?
And then they don't even use it in the circle.
Well, because it's like she was supposed to bring a fucking broom.
Yeah, girl.
I like how someone's like, don't worry, I brought an extra.
I like how these girls were just super on board.
I didn't like how Sandra Bullock was like, stop. No, you know this is what you have to do. You know,
Yeah.
You know the exorcism isn't going to be easy. Why are you telling them to stop?
I'm just curious as to why they were like, oh, we used to hate you when you were like in the closet
we're totally
witch.
into it now.
But now you've come out of the closet. They're vibing with the fact that Jillian is in this situation because of an abusive ex-boyfriend. And I think they're like,
how do they know that?
Well, it's all about femininity. That's
Yes.
the part I think that like disconnects. It's like, basically why they're all like against these witches is because witches are about like femininity and like, really empowering oneself.
Yeah.
And all of the town is scared of them. Like in the book, they basically like the townspeople kind of like are scared of them and shun them, but also kind of go to them in secret for advice and stuff, which they kind of try to express in the movie. So at the end, what they kind of also try to express is that all these women shun them and hate them in the movie and the book, but basically they are curious of them and actually are envious of them. Mm-hmm. And that's why they hate them so much. And like that, like the one woman who Sandra Bullock is like, I'm surprised to see you here. And she's like, well, I've always been curious to see inside your house.
Yeah, which I thought was like a interesting answer.
correct me if I'm wrong. I think that girl's name is actually Sandy.
Or something.
I think you're
Or
right.
Sally or Sandy.
No,
Sally
I'm
is
really
the name
hoping
of
it's
Sandra
Sandy.
Bullock's character.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Then it has to be Sandy.
Are you familiar with the Bechdel test?
no.
The Bechdel test is something that people have created for like any form of cinema or any kind of movie. And essentially it's 3 questions that you ask. If something is what they would quote a feminist masterpiece, it would have to have a scene where there's 2 women having a conversation that's not about either the plot, a man, or... Oh, fuck. Let me just pull it up real quick. And so it's this big test that people do for movies to see if they're like...
If it's like feminine forward.
Exactly.
Right? If the female characters in there are given enough, given the respect, as opposed to like what women characters in like movies or like past stories were lacking of, right?
So the test requires, it's 3 questions. It has to feature a scene of at least 2 women that talk to each other about something other than a man, and that it requires the women to both have names. So like it can't just be 2 sidebar characters. Like it has to be 2 characters that are named talking about it. And I see how the book is definitely a feminine, empowering movement. Unfortunately, I don't think the movie passes the Bechdel test because everything they talk about either has to do with getting rid of a guy, finding a guy, solving the problem of the ghost guy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like I think that's the sign of the 90s in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where they kind of try to bridge the gap.
Yeah. They didn't get the actual message. At least someone in Warner Brothers, when they went to produce it, didn't get the message and turned this into something it's not.
I think they tried. I think they tried their best in what time period they had.
For sure.
But it's like the only part that I can think of that doesn't have to do with man, but then ends up having to do with man is the Midnight Margarita scene.
Yeah. But then it always turns around. Like I was really pulling for this movie to pass the Bechdel test. I really wanted it to.
Absolutely.
And then I even went online to like look, and a couple people like, oh, it totally does. This is the best. And then like there's one person who's like, actually, guys, no, look at it. Like really take a step out and look at it.
And it's because I will agree with you. It is because it was made in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's
And now in 2020. Obviously, women have, there's more empowerment for women, right? We're more forward thinking with that as a society. And the only things on women's minds are not only boys and like men, like the disdain that they have within problematic relationships. It's more than that, but this was of that time.
Yeah, I think this movie could have served the women empowerment better if it focused more on the relationship between Jillian and Sally and like her raising her.
In the book, it does, and that's
which I
where
think is why
fails.
it comes
and
back.
That's why I want like a mini-series or something.
That would
be dope.
That is the typical ICBTB prescription that we give everything.
That's great.
Rate this movie out of 5.
Rate it.
Fuck. Okay, I give it a 4.5.
4.5.
I was gonna guess you would probably giving it a 5.
5.
I would give it a 4.5 for improvement because it was made in the 90s.
Yeah, it has definitely some problems.
It has some problems, especially with the dialogue. And also, like, oh man, like everything in the book is so much more descriptive. Like, I really want a miniseries.
Yeah. We're with you on that. How do you?
I'm right around a 3. I'm right in the middle for me. I don't know if I would have watched this movie if you wouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah.
I was telling Christian, I was like, I don't know if this movie's made for guys like us, or guys.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, and I'm glad you were able to explain some of the things for us without without us losing the sight of it.
Yeah. 3 out of 5 for me. That's a solid. It can't be that bad. We do have a spectrum here, and but after talking to you, it's more, without getting into decimals, it is more than just a 3 to me. It would help if we read the book too, but we're busy folk, and so it helps that you're here. Best Person on Set award should go to Sandra Bullock.
Kidman.
Oh yeah.
Both Nicole
They're
Kidman just
both
right here.
equally great.
We give it to
Right
both
here.
of them.
Right here.
Yeah.
Give it to
Wait,
both of
who's
them.
on top?
Sandra. Just because she gets a little more screen time, I think.
It's because she had that slow motion running. That's why.
Did she have slow motion running?
Yeah, during the kiss.
Did.
Oh, this kiss, this
That
kiss.
scene.
So good.
They
My
could-
favorite scene.
Yeah.
They could both get
With
it,
the
though.
dogs?
They could
Oh,
both.
man.
Yeah, the dogs there. And the way that I do want to say one last thing before we go. The way the first husband dies is just like tricked you.
So
You thought he was gonna get run
fucking
over by
tragic.
these 20
I
bikers.
definitely did not think that the bikes were going to kill him. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
the
it was like-
bikers.
the fact that he was so scared of the bikers, I was like, is that going to come back later? Is he like going to fall off of a bike or
No.
something? I thought that's where that was.
He could
And
dodge.
And then everybody who's warning him, hey, watch out. We're clearly warning him for the truck.
Yeah.
Because they definitely all saw the truck and he didn't. I do want to say one thing real quick. When the witches Mary Poppins off the roof,
Yeah.
did they purposely all wear the same socks that the evil witch does?
Yeah. That's like a big thing in like witch culture
the
or
hat.
whatever. It's like tip of the hat. It's like
Tip of the pointed hat.
Wizard of Oz. If you're a witch, you wear striped socks.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Witches, man. I had a witch put a spell on our podcast a couple years ago, about a year ago,
It's
right after we
slowly
started.
but surely working, right?
Don't worry, I'll put another one on.
Do it, please.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk. We're not supposed to say it. I think that ruins it. I think if I
Then
read
why
enough
do you
about
keep
magic.
bringing it up, dude?
Yeah.
It's on you.
Alex,
You know, it's
you're
not real.
making me work double time here.
You're fucking it.
I
Yeah,
make everybody
dude.
work double time. You should see my manager. Bald as shit.
So stressed.
Stress is real. Any last words? Thank you for joining us for our Halloween special, baddies.
So we don't have last words, and then you said the
Any
last
last words? And shut up, shut up.
words. I got it handled. I got it
I got
handled.
it handled.
This was fun, guys. Happy Halloween. Stay safe. Check your candy.
Yeah. Don't
Wear a mask. Vote.
trust
your mother.
strangers. Eat a shit ton of candy and sweets and go ooh.
You'll have to trust some of those strangers because you're not going to get candy from everybody. You know.
It's called the store.
Yeah, you're right.
You still paying for candy on Halloween? I take it from children. It's very easy.
All
That's
right.
what having children is for. Stealing their candy.
Let's go in a circle. Favorite piece of candy, and then we'll end it.
Oh man.
I know that this is going to get a lot of flack, but I really enjoy Almond Joys.
I was about to say that too. Dude, I've been in such a deep pocket with you today.
Jolly Ranchers.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, you
that
know.
breaks teeth.
Ang, 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 ang.
That sounds like
the
Alejandro's national anthem. This kiss,
This kid.